If I'm being completely honest, I've never been a massive Final Fantasy fan. I've been a pretty casual Final Fantasy fan. By that I mean I've played Final Fantasy VII on the PS1 when I was growing up. I watched someone else play Final Fantasy VIII. I always wanted to play Final Fantasy IX but never got round to it, and then so on and so on, and until I think I skipped them all until 15. Tell a lie, my first Final Fantasy was watching my brother play Final Fantasy VI on the SNES. But I think one of the best and most underrated Final Fantasy games and the PS2 games is both Final Fantasy X and its sequel Final Fantasy X2. I don't know if to call it Final Fantasy X or to call it Final Fantasy X. I'm probably going to swap around quite a lot during this script in what I call it, so just know I'm talking about this game. And I've just captured some raw footage just to talk over the top of, because the Final Fantasy games, they can be quite like boring to watch someone just randomly run around. So they are very fun games, though, I will say that. And this is probably one of the most funnest. Is funnest the best word to use there? I don't know, but I'm just going to carry on. So I've got a few reasons why Final Fantasy X or Final Fantasy X is one of the best Final Fantasy games. It's definitely the best Final Fantasy game for any like starter. And full disclosure, even though this is predominantly talking about PS2 games, I lost my PS2 version of this game, so the capture footage is from the Switch HD version. I'm also going to try and describe my reasons for loving this game without any spoilers, even though the game is well over 10 years old, and at this point, if you don't know the story, then, you know. Final Fantasy X delivers one of the most emotional and heartfelt stories pretty much in all of gaming. It has its really janky moments and like bits where the comedy or like the animation just doesn't quite land, but Tidus and Yuna's relationship is a true love story and one of the best love stories I've ever seen in a video game. It has a lot of tragedy, mystery, and a sort of journey of self-discovery about their relationship and how they see each other and what they both represent among this world. It is also sprinkled with the perfect amount of cringe that you would also find in a chick flick that I think is just amazing. I think it is a very good representation of two teenagers having like a very cringy relationship. So that's like my first point. I think the love story in this game is one of the best that's ever been put into gaming. I could be wrong. If you disagree, put me in a comment, tell me what other love stories are in games. And I mean like actual love stories. Don't just ship two characters. Don't do be like, oh, Cortana and Master Chief. Okay, the second point, I'm moving on now. The bit I really love about this game is I feel like this was the first Final Fantasy game the battle system really gelled with me. It's like what's it called? It's still turn-based, but it just feels much nicer, much smoother transition. There's other things that you can target sometimes. Overall, the battle system's pretty tight, it's pretty clean, and it's very rewarding. Like, I feel like there's not many times that you come up against a monster that just absolutely destroys you. It levels you up quite nicely with the battling. I feel like there's no like random stuff that they put into the battle system that makes it a mess. I also really like it's just more tactical. It's more like straightforward tactics in a fantasy game. And I don't know if this is going to be the controversial point of the video, the sphere grid I love. I think it's really good to customize any of your characters exactly the way you want it. Like if you want like say a black mage who can also tank, you can absolutely do that. It just takes time and grinding. Now I could be completely wrong with this. I could be just in general like not informed, but as far as I'm aware, Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy X2 was the first example of a game, like a Final Fantasy game that got a direct sequel within like a couple of years of each other. Like I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I probably could just Google this, but I can't be arsed. I'm pretty sure that Final Fantasy X2 was the first ever canonical sequel of a Final Fantasy game, because I just genuinely cannot think of anyone. There might be like some non-mainline games, and let me tell you, Final Fantasy X2 feels like an absolute fever dream of a game. Like I had to like reload that back up a couple of years ago because I just genuinely didn't think that the events in that game actually happened, which I think the footage is going to swap over in a minute. Now this one, Final Fantasy X2, after the events of like the first Final Fantasy X, for some reason the girls in the group decide to start a pop group and it just goes wild. Like that's how I remember it. I need to complete this game a bit more, but suddenly Yuna's got pistols, Riku's there, and everyone just keeps going crazy and doing the most ludicrous shit in this game. I unapologetically love the music in this game. I think it's so fun, the weird like pop music they all go for. I think it really shows at the time what, like, I think this game came out in 2003, maybe 2004, what society was like at that point. Over 20 years later, and fans still connect with both of these games, and the remasters are brilliant. Especially I really like the remasters on Switch. The fandom is still going pretty strong, so this video might just fall completely on deaf ears, and the eternal debate is Tidus real still sparks a passionate conversation among most Final Fantasy fans. Either way, at the end of the day, I still feel that this Final Fantasy series, X and X2, are the best Final Fantasy games ever. Feel free to absolutely disagree. You can write a comment down below in my things. I will talk to anyone about this. If you've got any other points that you want to add to my reasonings about this, then please comment below. My name's been the Retro Gaming Goose. If you have enjoyed this video, please remember to like the video, and if you want, subscribe to the channel because I put out content all the time. Thanks for watching.